Congress just introduced a bill to finally ban anti-LGBTQ discrimination nationwide, and it could pass in time for Stonewall's 50th anniversary later this year. North Carolina is refusing to provide life-saving medical coverage to trans workers, and a gay couple in Minnesota is finally married 48 years after applying for a license. We'll have the week's top LGBT news and how it affects you on Weekly Debrief. Weekly Debrief is made possible by everyone who pledges their support on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/mattbaum or click the link in the description to check out the rewards available to backers. As I'm sure you know, in most states, it's legal for someone to be fired or evicted or thrown out of school or thrown out of a business if someone even suspects that they're gay. There are a handful of protections in some cities and in some states, but overall it's a patchwork of unpredictable laws all across the country. But that may be about to change. This week, Congress introduced the Equality Act, which would implement a nationwide policy prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. Democrats have been trying and failing to pass some form of this protection since the 1970s, but this time things are a little different. For one thing, there are a record number of co-sponsors, including an overwhelming majority of supporters in the House. On top of that, a new study shows that a majority of Americans across almost every demographic group supports what the Equality Act would do. Support is at 69%, which is pretty nice. Of course, the Republican-led Senate and the White House remain an obstacle to LGBTQ equality, but even just passing the House would be a major milestone, building momentum for passage. If not this year, then sooner rather than later. Also this week, Lambda Legal is suing North Carolina for dropping medical coverage for trans employees. Nearly 1 million people were covered by the state health plan, and it previously covered medically necessary treatment related to transitioning. But surprise, as soon as a Republican took over as state senator, that coverage vanished. Experts agree this coverage is necessary, and denying it puts lives at risk. Lambda Legal has won similar lawsuits in Alaska and New York, so it is frustrating that states still haven't learned their lesson. So now, how about some good news? Michael McConnell and Jack Baker tried to obtain a marriage license in Minnesota back in 1971, and they got one until the clerk realized that they were both men. Now, for 50-ish years, their marriage status has been a question, with the couple saying it's valid and the government saying it's not. Well, as of this week, the couple won. The Social Security Administration ruled that they are married and have been since 1971. As far as we know, the oldest legally recognized same-sex marriage in the United States. So, congrats to Michael and Jack, and thanks for blazing a path. This week's action item? Now's the time to bug your members of Congress about passing the Equality Act. It'll be up for a vote in a few weeks, so we need to build momentum for passage now. There's a chance that it could pass by June, in time for the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. As always, let me know about stories that need covering at Matt Baum on Twitter and in the YouTube comments. Thanks to everyone who makes Weekly Debrief possible with a pledge of support on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/mattbaum or click the link in the description to check out those backer rewards. And I'll debrief you next week.